This is the story of an extraordinary sniper with legendary skills. He can eliminate targets from several kilometers away with precision. His accuracy is so remarkable he could shoot blindfolded. But this deadly sniper wasn't always a warrior. He used to be an ordinary math teacher before everything changed. He hated violence, war, and guns with all his heart. But one tragic day altered his entire life forever. Something happened that transformed him from a gentle teacher into a ruthless killer. The story begins in a small village in Ukraine. We're shown a modest house in this quiet countryside. A loving couple lives in this house peacefully. The man's name is Mykola, and he lives with his wife. His wife's name is Katya, and she's a talented artist. Katya is a skilled woodcarver who creates beautiful statues. She carves various sculptures from wood as her passion. Mykola works as a teacher in a nearby school. He teaches mathematics to children in the local community. Mykola is a very good teacher, beloved by his students. All the children respect and admire him greatly. All except one troublesome student whose name is Ivan. Ivan was an extremely ill-mannered and disrespectful boy. He troubled his teacher Mykola at school every single day. Ivan came from a very wealthy and privileged family. Meanwhile, Mykola was a simple man of modest means. Therefore, Ivan constantly mocked Mykola's appearance and clothing. He wanted to provoke Mykola into losing his temper. Ivan hoped the teacher would raise his hand against him. Then he could complain and get Mykola expelled from school. But Mykola was an extremely calm and patient person. He wasn't affected by Ivan's cruel words at all. Mykola remained happy and content with his simple life. Mykola couldn't get news of the world easily. His house had no television or electronic equipment. One day while at school, Mykola heard alarming news on TV. The news reported that Russia had attacked Ukraine. Many Ukrainian soldiers were killed in the initial assault. Russia had already captured several places throughout Ukraine. The invasion was spreading rapidly across the country. The next morning, Mykola said goodbye to his wife. He left on his bicycle to teach children at school. While riding on the road, he noticed something strange. Two soldiers were standing nearby with cigarettes lit. They were wearing a uniform he didn't recognize. The uniform was definitely not that of Ukrainian soldiers. This made Mykola feel uneasy and suspicious, but he thought perhaps the government had changed soldier uniforms. So Mykola didn't pay much attention to the details. He quickly continued riding toward his school building. He was shocked. The entire school was completely empty and silent. Not even a single child had come to school today. Seeing this unusual situation made him feel very disturbed. Then he saw more news on the school television. The report stated that Russian soldiers had entered Ukraine. They were invading to capture and occupy the country. Suddenly, Mykola realized the truth about those soldiers. The men he'd seen earlier were actually Russian invaders. Thinking this, he became extremely worried about Katya. She was alone at home and completely vulnerable. He immediately jumped on his bicycle and rushed homeward. But now it was already too late to save her. When Mykola reached his house, he witnessed something horrific. The two Russian soldiers were brutally beating his wife. Mykola desperately tried to save Katya from them, but the soldiers turned on him and started beating him too. He begged them desperately, pleading for mercy. Mykola cried, "Please stop. My wife is pregnant." They continued beating both of them mercilessly. After some time, one Russian soldier searched Mykola's entire house. When he found nothing valuable inside, he became furious. The soldiers set their house on fire out of spite. Then they prepared to leave the burning property. Seeing her beloved home burning, Katya became enraged. She picked up a heavy stone in defiance. Katya began hitting the Russian soldiers with it. Seeing this act of resistance, he fired a single shot and Katya died instantly. The ground beneath Mykola's feet seemed to vanish completely. He watched his wife die right before his eyes. Mykola ran to her and took her in his trembling arms. He began crying bitterly over her lifeless body. After a few hours, two Ukrainian soldiers arrived at the scene. Seeing Mykola's wife dead, they felt deep sympathy. They placed comforting hands on Mykola's shaking shoulders. The soldiers told him not to lose courage or hope. After that, the two soldiers began digging a grave for Katya. Once the grave was ready, they told him to bury his beloved wife there. After his wife's death, Mykola was completely shattered inside. He was now entirely alone in this world. Those Russian soldiers had destroyed everything he loved. They had not only killed his wife brutally, they had also murdered his unborn child. They had burned down his home and his future. Now Mykola was burning with an unquenchable fire of revenge. He had made up his mind about what to do. He would kill the Russian soldier who shot Katya, no matter what. The only way to take revenge was joining the Ukrainian army. That's why he made a desperate request to the soldiers. He begged them, "Please take me with you." Mykola said, "I want to join the Ukrainian army immediately." The The soldiers agreed and prepared to take him along. They drove Mykola to their military base in their vehicle. Before leaving, Mykola took something precious with him. He grabbed a small wooden statue Katya had carved for protection. When they reached the military base, they met the senior officer. The senior officer became angry after seeing Mykola. He refused to recruit him into the army immediately. The officer suspected that Mykola might be a Russian spy, but when he received full information from the soldiers, things changed. Mykola told the officer everything that had happened. He explained how Russian soldiers brutally killed his pregnant wife, how they murdered his unborn child without mercy, how they burned his house to ashes. Mykola said, "I have no reason left to live anymore." He continued, "I only want to free my country by killing Russians." Hearing this passionate plea, the senior officer was moved. He agreed to recruit Mykola as a soldier in the army. The next day, Mykola's military training began immediately. Since he was just an ordinary civilian, he had studied mathematics all his life peacefully. Mykola had absolutely no knowledge about guns or warfare. When other soldiers were assembling their rifles quickly, Mykola struggled. He was very slow compared to the experienced soldiers. He assembled his rifle last among all the trainees. Seeing this poor performance, the officer felt doubtful. He believed Mykola would never become a good soldier, but Mykola refused to give up on his goal. He focused completely on his training with determination. Mykola approached his senior officer. He told him not to call him by his real name anymore. Mykola said his code name should be the White Raven. The senior officer explained something important to him. He said code names aren't earned easily in the military. A soldier must perform great feats for the country first. Only then does he deserve a special code name. Mykola didn't take this rejection negatively at all. Instead, he began working even harder than before. He practiced late into the night while others slept. One day, the senior officer made an important announcement. He said they had a serious shortage of trained snipers. They needed to increase sniper numbers to fight the Russians effectively. The officer asked who wanted to become a sniper. Some brave soldiers stood up to volunteer immediately. Mykola was among those who volunteered for sniper training. When the others saw Mykola volunteer, they laughed again mockingly. The senior officer told him he wasn't ready yet. He said Mykola couldn't even assemble rifles properly, but Mykola insisted that he could become an excellent sniper. He said he only needed one chance to prove himself. To test Mykola's claim, the senior officer issued a challenge. He challenged Mykola to assemble the rifle in 20 seconds. To prove his abilities, Mykola did something extraordinary. He blindfolded himself so he couldn't see anything. Then he disassembled the rifle into all its parts. After that, he reassembled it completely while blindfolded. Mykola completed the entire task in only 18 seconds. Everyone was absolutely amazed by his speed and skill. Those who had laughed earlier now began applauding him. The senior officer was genuinely impressed by Mykola's demonstration. He immediately included Mykola in the sniper training program. During sniper training, Mykola was given an old model rifle. Meanwhile, the other trainees received modern advanced weapons. Mykola requested a modern rifle like the others had, but the senior officer said he would have to prove himself first. Only then would he earn a modern weapon. With no other choice, Mykola accepted the old rifle. He continued his training without complaining about it. The senior officer taught an important sniper principle. No matter what situation a sniper faces, he must remain still. He must not move even an inch from his position. He must keep aiming at his target no matter what. To practice this skill, the officer fired shots near the trainees. Any sniper who moved from his spot was dismissed immediately. When it was Mykola's turn, he didn't move at all. He kept his aim steady despite the gunfire around him. In this way, he endured the difficult test successfully. Mykola passed this crucial part of sniper training. In the next training exercise, things became more challenging. The snipers were shown their targets only once briefly. Then their rifle scope were covered by the senior officer. During this exercise, they had to estimate and shoot their target. Some of the other skilled soldiers passed this difficult test, but when Mykola's turn came, his aim missed slightly. He failed this particular test, unfortunately. The problem was that his gun was very old and unreliable. This made it extremely difficult to aim perfectly. However, everyone knew the truth about his failure. If Mykola had been given a new gun, he would have succeeded. He would have hit the target accurately without question. The next training was even more difficult for all snipers. They had to shoot their targets in complete darkness. They could only see during brief moments of flare light. The senior officer released a flare into the night sky. Everyone aimed quickly, but nobody managed to hit the target. All the other soldiers had already fired their bullets. But Mykola held his fire and didn't shoot yet. He realized something important about the exercise. It was impossible to aim directly in the flare's bright light. Mykola changed tactics. Instead of firing immediately, he estimated his target's distance. Using his mathematical knowledge, he calculated the perfect shot. Then he fired with absolute precision. Seeing this incredible feat, everyone was completely astonished. No one had ever completed this impossible task before. Only Mykola had succeeded where all others failed. The senior officer was extremely impressed with his skill. He finally gave Mykola his desired code name, the White Raven. Days passed like this, and Mykola continued training devotedly. He trained with all his heart and soul every day. Finally, the important day arrived for the final test. The results of their extensive training would be announced. The colonel saluted Mykola with respect and pride. He told him that he had passed all the tests successfully. A few days later, the colonel approached Mykola again. He told him to pack his things immediately. They were going on an important combat mission. There was news that Russian soldiers had captured a checkpoint. From here, the real story of the White Raven begins. Soon Mykola's team reached the mission location. All the snipers took their designated positions carefully. Just as they were about to shoot the Russian soldiers, something happened. A civilian vehicle was seen approaching the checkpoint. The colonel immediately ordered everyone to hold their fire. On the other side, Russian soldiers stopped the approaching vehicle. They ordered the people inside to exit immediately. The soldiers checked their passports and searched the entire vehicle thoroughly. When everything appeared normal and fine, the soldiers allowed them passage, but they kept the civilians' passports with them. When those people asked for their passports back, the Russians reacted violently. The Russian soldiers beat the civilians brutally without mercy. Seeing this terrible injustice, the colonel made a decision. He ordered his sniper team to open fire immediately. In one swift, coordinated moment, all snipers took their shots. They eliminated their targets with perfect accuracy. In this way, their first mission was successfully completed. After the mission, everyone returned to the military base. Mykola noticed that many of his companions were missing. He grew worried and asked where his comrades were. He was told the other soldiers had been sent on another mission. The next day, Mykola received devastating news. Many of his comrades had been killed during that mission. All of them were killed by a single Russian sniper. The name of that legendary sniper was Myroslava. He was considered the best sniper in the entire Russian army. A few days passed and Mykola prepared for his next mission. He left for the operation with his team. After reaching the location, they laid landmines all around carefully. Then, they took their sniper positions and waited. After a while, Russian soldiers arrived at the spot. Among them was Ivan, the same boy from Mykola's school, the troublesome student who used to mock him constantly. Now Ivan had joined the Russian army as a soldier. As soon as the colonel gave the order to shoot, Mykola hesitated. He didn't want to kill his former student, but then Mykola pushed his emotions aside forcefully. He shot at the landmines placed nearby instead. A massive explosion followed, killing all the Russian soldiers. Ivan was among those killed in the blast. After everything was under control, the colonel approached Mykola. He angrily asked what Mykola was thinking during the order. Mykola replied honestly about his internal conflict. He said, "One of my students was among those Russian soldiers." He admitted, "I didn't want to kill him." The colonel explained to Mykola why he shouldn't feel guilty. He said, "Here he wasn't your student anymore." The colonel continued, "He was your enemy, a Russian soldier." Therefore, Mykola didn't need to feel bad about his death. After completing the mission, they all returned to base camp. The colonel had complete faith and trust in Mykola. He spent most of his free time with him. One day, the colonel showed Mykola a family photograph. He told him there were 3 people in his family. The colonel said, "Both my daughters don't know I'm a soldier." He continued, "I've told them that I run a business." Hearing this, Mykola shared his own tragic story. He explained how Russian soldiers ruthlessly killed his pregnant wife. During this conversation, Mykola became very emotional, but the colonel comforted him with kind words. The next morning, they all departed for their next mission. This mission was extremely important for their unit. They had received intelligence about Russian soldier movements. A group of Russian soldiers was going to pass through that route. The colonel and Mykola quickly reached the location. They took their sniper positions and prepared to wait. After a while, they spotted 2 Russian soldiers below. These soldiers were waiting for the rest of their team to arrive. Mykola then noticed something that made his blood boil. One of those soldiers was the man who shot his wife. The killer who destroyed his entire life was in his sights. Mykola asked for permission to shoot immediately, but the colonel refused the request firmly. Mykola's anger began rising uncontrollably inside him. The man standing before him had murdered his beloved wife. He had joined the army for this exact moment. This was his chance to finally take revenge for Katya's death. He asked for permission to shoot again. But once again, the colonel refused his request. Unable to control his burning emotions any longer, Mykola acted. He fired the shot without authorization. The Russian soldier died instantly from the bullet, but the consequences were immediate and severe. The Russian soldiers now knew their exact location. The colonel turned to Mykola and shouted angrily. But the worst thing was yet to come. Russia's most dangerous sniper, Myroslava, was also in position nearby. And now, he knew exactly where they were located. The colonel realized Myroslava was in the area. He began desperately searching for his position. Before he could locate him, Myroslava fired a perfect shot. The bullet hit the colonel directly in the head. The colonel died instantly on the spot. Now Mykola understood what a terrible mistake he'd made. The colonel had lost his life because of his emotional error. Mykola learned that the Russians had discovered their exact position. Mykola made a decision. He decided to retreat from their position immediately. Mykola picked up the colonel's body with great effort. He started pulling back from their exposed position. Soon he managed to escape from enemy territory. He reached his base camp carrying the colonel's body. Mykola was completely devastated by the colonel's death. He blamed himself entirely for what had happened. Mykola made a solemn vow right then. He swore that he would kill Myroslava without fail. He would avenge the colonel's death no matter what it took. Soon Mykola received intelligence about 2 Russian snipers. He immediately left for his next mission alone. Mykola reached the location and took careful aim. Soon he successfully killed one of the enemy snipers. While eliminating that sniper, the second one shot Mykola. The bullet hit him in the arm, causing severe pain. But Mykola refused to give up despite his injury. He somehow managed to kill that second sniper as well. Badly injured, he withdrew to a secret base location. He needed to let his wounded body rest and recover. During his recovery time, he received an important call. The army major contacted Mykola with crucial information. The major told him they had identified the colonel's killer. After recovering, Mykola returned to the base. The major began briefing everyone about the target sniper. The major said, "The sniper's name is Myroslava." He continued, "He's the absolute best sniper in Russia." The major added, "His aim has never been wrong till date. Therefore, the absolutely should not take him lightly." The major explained Myroslava's disturbing tactics. He first kills Ukrainian soldiers in combat, then he uploads videos of the killings to social media. This is done deliberately to demoralize Ukrainian forces. He describes him as a sniper who rarely changes position. He usually hunts his enemy from a single location. Now the assault plan was carefully made. They would approach Myroslava's location. With 2 separate teams, according to the plan, the first team would attack from the front. While the Russians were occupied fighting them, the second team would attack from behind simultaneously. Taking advantage of that tactical diversion, Mykola would enter the building. His mission was to infiltrate and kill Myroslava personally. After the plan was finalized, they departed for the location. On reaching the site, all snipers took their positions. They began carefully aiming at their designated targets. Meanwhile, Mykola secretly entered the target building. Inside, he saw 2 Russian soldiers engaged in casual conversation. Without any delay, Mykola killed both of them silently. Then he moved deeper into the building cautiously. The soldier gave a prearranged signal to the team outside. As soon as the signal was received, the Ukrainian snipers acted. They opened fire and killed the Russian soldiers below. On the other hand, Myroslava noticed something was wrong. None of his fellow soldiers were reporting to him. He felt something was wrong somewhere, so he quickly went to the roof of the building. A Russian sniper was already positioned on the roof. But when Myroslava reached him, he discovered something horrifying. The sniper was already dead at his position. Panic rose in Myroslava's chest immediately. He realized that Ukrainian soldiers had surrounded him from all sides. Myroslava contacted his base urgently for backup support, but they said reinforcements would take another 10 minutes. Hearing this, Myroslava hurried back to his sniper's position. He started desperately searching for the Ukrainian soldiers. Then Myroslava noticed something strange on the table. A small wooden statue had been placed there deliberately. It was the same statue Mykola had brought from home, the statue that had been lovingly made by Katya. Before Myroslava could react to this discovery, Mykola attacked. He emerged from hiding and stabbed him to death. The violent scuffle alerted another sniper in the building. That sniper became immediately alert and cautious. Before that Russian sniper could do anything, Mykola acted. He threw a grenade near the sniper's position. The sniper was killed instantly in the powerful explosion. After some time, the backup team Myroslava had called arrived. They reached the building completely unaware of what happened. They were unaware that Myroslava was already dead inside. When they tried to contact Myroslava by radio, someone answered. Mykola had taken his radio and answered their call. He told them coldly that they were all going to die. Then he immediately shot the backup truck driver. As soon as the shot rang out, chaos erupted. There was complete panic among the Russian soldiers. They scrambled desperately out of the truck. They were completely unaware that Ukrainian snipers were waiting. The Ukrainians were lying in perfect ambush for them. The Ukrainian soldiers opened fire fiercely and accurately. They killed the Russian reinforcements one by one. A few days after this successful mission, Mykola went somewhere special. He visited his beloved wife's grave in the countryside. Mykola felt that the promise he made to Katya was fulfilled. He had killed everyone responsible for murdering his wife. He had also avenged the death of the colonel. Standing at Katya's grave, Mykola swore a new oath. He vowed that he would continue serving his country faithfully. He would fight until his very last breath. He left the grave. And the movie ends here. Kindly subscribe to this channel to keep us motivated. See you on the next video.